Salve a tutti, sono Almarok e benvenuti in un nuovo video. Oggi siamo qui per fare un'intervista a Joakim, famoso per essere il batterista e membro fondatore dei Necrophobic, band che non troppo tempo fa abbiamo recensito anche qui sul canale. Prima di iniziare ringrazio ovviamente Joakim per la sua disponibilità, per aver accettato di essere nostro ospite, vi lascio l'intervista e vi auguro buona visione. I'm Almarok, I'm here with Joakim from Necrophobic, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Why you started to do music and why you started to do metal music?
Well, why I started music, we were some friends in school that listened to heavy metal music and went to concerts, and this new style was started to grow, and there were bands like the same age as we were, not old guys that like Iron Maiden and they were probably 22 or something, 22, 23, but we talked about if we should start a band. We borrowed the music room in school. It was not really the best place to start playing music, but eventually we found a real rehearsal studio, and then we formed the band. And why we formed it, I don't know. We are probably, we just didn't settle with just listening to music. We have to play it also. I said that we didn't settle with just listening to music. We wanted to play it as well. So we started to learn. The guitar player was actually, he had already played guitar for some time, but I have more or less never played the drums, and the bass player, he really wanted to be a guitar player, but we had to have a bass player, so he became the bass player. Or it was in 1989, but we had probably started playing a bit before actually forming a band. Why I started to listen to metal was many years earlier. I went to a summer camp for 3 weeks, and one guy that I shared room with, he played me a cassette with Iron Maiden. I was hooked right there.
Necrophobic has considered one of the first metal band to combine black metal and death metal. So how was born the idea to invent black and death metal?
Yes, when we started this band, bands like Nihilist and Dismember and Treblinka, and there was a Merciless, and there was already many bands that have released demos, and we liked death metal a lot, but we didn't really wanted to be that brutal band that with we wanted a bit darker sounding music, and we wanted darker melodies, and melodies was not really what the other bands were doing. So that was what we wanted to do. We didn't sound like we knew how we wanted from the beginning, of course, but the aim and the minds were already focused that we have to be a bit different than not the typical, but like many other bands was doing. So and later on we became better, and the music started to shape a bit, and it sounded like death metal, of course, but a bit with black metal also, and that's on purpose, because we Venom and Bathory was one of the influences also. So
Necrophobic released the new album in 2024. We have just released a track. Can you talk about it?
Yes, actually, we released the second track yesterday.
Okay.
So two songs from the new album are available now for on the digital platforms. The first one came in mid December, called Storm Crow, which is pretty much a flirt with how we sounded in the 90s. It's very straightforward and easy to get a grip on. There's also a heavy metal part in that, and that's not strange, really, thinking from where we came from, because we grew up with heavy metal music in the 80s. So the middle part is really catchy, without sounding, like it's still a tough raw part. But I guess we haven't really used that kind of music before, so that was special. And yesterday we released the second digital single, called As Stars Collide. And that is also a bit of a new path that we have never went on before. It's quite a heavy track. It's a really catchy song. There's no fast beat in that song. That was a challenge for us, because we have written, of course, heavier sounding songs before, but they have always tend to become fast in a part or anything like that. So
you worked with the former Dark Funeral guitarist Blackman. He was one of the original members of Necrophobic. How did you remember about it, and what do you think about his death?
Yes, me and David, we actually went to the same class since we were 10 years. The first years we went to the same class, we didn't hang out or anything. I was a classmate. But in when we started 8th grade or something, was it 7th? No, it was 7th grade. He came to school with an Iron Maiden t-shirt. And I was like, oh, I thought he was a punk rocker before. So we instantly started to talk, because I also like Iron Maiden. So we started to talk, and we became very good friends. And then in the 8th grade, and there come a new guy in class. He have moved to Stockholm from he came from a smaller town, like 2 hours drive from Stockholm, and he saw me and David with our heavy metal church, and we became friends with him. And he introduced us to the more extreme metal, because he had albums with Metallica and Slayer, and was like, oh shit, what is that? And it was us three that formed Necrophobic. Anyhow, me and David started this band, and we were also the best of friends. Later on, it was so funny, because he didn't like black metal from the start, but when he left Necrophobic, he left it because he wanted to form a black metal band, and that band is Dark Funeral. So we were still friends. He was a little bit, he didn't want to socialize so much. He didn't go out to the pubs or to concerts anymore, unless it was a very special concert. So we sort of drifted apart a bit, but we always kept calling each other and stuff like that. But eventually that died out. So there was no contact with him. Maybe 3 or 4 phone calls a year or something. And then and he was also he has always been a bit of an odd guy, behaving strange and stuff, and are not socially skilled. He's a funny guy, but also has a very dark side, and a lot of stuff he was wondering about, and stuff like that. And then came this, he actually, I spoke with him 1 week before he committed suicide. And then he said that he was feeling fine, and all this. He told me that everything was fine now. When you get the information that he has committed suicide, you think, of course, everything was fine, but it wasn't. So he said that finally he has find a way to live happily and stuff like that. And I guess we talked for 2 hours and stuff. And then came the information, and I was, it was really sad. Even though I wasn't the best friend with him since many years, it's a big person in my life. We have spent so much time together, not only being in the band together. We were close friends and did much other stuff, funny stuff together. So I was really sad.
In your opinion, how many things have changed when you started from nowadays in metal scene, and how is it difficult to become a musician nowadays?
If I have an advice?
Yes.
No, okay. Oh, I haven't thought about it. In Sweden, it's quite easy to become a musician because there are plenty of rehearsal places and you don't. In some places, you don't even have to own your own instrument. Some rehearsal places have drums and guitars and amps and everything, and it's easy to get lessons. I know I took guitar lessons when I was 7, but I was too bored learning the boring songs. It was like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and I wanted to play heavy metal directly. So and the advice is to be stubborn with your instrument.
Okay.
Don't buy the most expensive instrument to start, but do the hours practice and be stubborn practicing, and then find friends that share the same musical taste that you have, and start play together.
Thank you for your time, and good luck for the future Necrophobic project.
Yes, thank you.